Last week I talked about how Xbox made me sell my Xbox, but Sony didn't make me sell my PlayStation. So today we are talking about the PS5 Pro. PlayStation 1, my mom bought that. PlayStation 2, my mom bought that. PlayStation 3, ex-girlfriend bought that. PlayStation 4, ex-girlfriend. After that ex-girlfriend bought that. PlayStation 5, my lucks ran out. I bought my own PlayStation. PlayStation 5 Pro though, I probably won't be buying that. Here's why. This is a PlayStation 5. If you want a PlayStation 5 Pro, you don't have one of these. This is a disk drive.
Having surgery. I'd like to take his face off.
This is a vertical stand. You don't have one of these either. Unless you want to pay $50 and $30 for that. Also, how do you spell this? Do you spell it D-I-S-K, D-I-S-C, or D-I-C-K? Because Sony is being dicks by charging us $700. Or are they? The selling point for the PlayStation 5 Pro is that most people choose frame rate over the graphics mode. So performance mode over fidelity mode, I believe it's called in some games. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I play on the PC way more than I play on my PlayStation 5 nowadays. But since people choose the frame rate mode or the performance mode, Sony figured they could combine those together. You could get the graphics of the fidelity mode, and then you can get the frame rate of the performance mode, not lose any frames, and have yourself a good PlayStation. Kind of like you could do on PC. What they emphasized in their PlayStation YouTube meeting, I guess you would call it, is the big three. That's a larger GPU, 45% faster rendering, ray tracing, better ray tracing. They already have ray tracing in fidelity mode, but if you wanted ray tracing in performance mode, you can have that too. They also have PSSR or PISR, which is like DLSS. It's AI upscaling to improve frame rates by adding, I believe it adds in artificial frames. Don't get me wrong, I'm not Digital Foundry, but I believe it adds in like artificial frames to make your frame rate look better through AI. But it does increase input lag. But if you're playing a game like a single player game, that's not going to matter as much anyway. But if you're playing like Call of Duty or something, you probably wouldn't want that mode on unless they do it really, really well and it doesn't increase your input lag. It's also coming with a 2 terabyte SSD, which is pretty good. But it doesn't come with the disk drive. The disk drive and the vertical stand, as I said earlier, are going to be sold separately. How do you feel about them not including the disk drive? I myself, not sure if I care as much, but I kind of care because I still have this. Here's Elden Ring, Demon Souls, Near Replicant. And you know when you have this, it always asks you to put the disc in to play the game. So I'm not sure on the PS5 Pro, if you don't buy it with the disc drive, will you still be able to play your PS5 games that usually require the disc? Buying games with discs isn't what it used to be, but people still like to own the hard copies of stuff. But discs used to come with stuff. Like, this is Gears of War 2. Here's my disc for it. Came with Xbox 360 with game add-on content. It had a pretty thick book. Here's my pretty thick book. Demon Souls. PS5 game. What did that come with? A disc and a GameStop receipt. Did it have anything over here before? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Elden Ring. A disc, no book. Is the book that important now that we have the internet? No, it's not. But it's something nice to have, you know? This was on PSP. Even my God of War, I don't know where the disc is, but it came with a book. Why don't we have books anymore? Huh? That's a whole nother story. Now, if I could get a PC that performed just as well as the PS5 for $700, a PS5 Pro for $700, Anybody would do that. You'd be out of your mind to not buy a PC for $700 that can perform as well as the PS5 Pro says it's going to perform, because you can't get a PC like that for $700. My graphics card, I have a 4070 Ti Ultra Super, something like that, and that was $800. That's just a graphics card. Now, I believe the PS5 Pro will probably perform like a 4060 maybe. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. But still, $700 for everything. Hard drive, RAM, CPU, the GPU, the case that you put it in. That's a pretty good deal to some people. I feel bad about saying it's a good deal because people hate it. They hate the price of it. They hate the $700. Now, in preparation for this video, I watched a bunch of videos, looked on Reddit, looked everywhere to see what people thought about the PS5 Pro and a price point at $700. Myself, here's my personal opinion. I don't think you could buy a PC for $700 that performs like that. But what I've seen in the difference between the graphics of the PS5 and the PS5 Pro, is it worth an extra $200 over the PS5 Slim? Because that's what you should be comparing it to, because it doesn't come with a disk drive or a vertical stand like the PS5 Slim doesn't come with a disk drive. So you could compare it to that, right? And for an extra $200 for the crowd scenes in Ratchet and Clank to be like a little bit better than it is on a PS5, do I want to pay $200 for that? Probably not. But what do you think? Do you think it's worth it to you? Do you look at it the same way that you look at like buying an iPhone 15 and an iPhone 15 Pro Max? Or an iPhone 15 Pro Max and then you upgrade to the iPhone 16? Or a Galaxy S something versus a Galaxy Note? So here's some pros and cons versus a PC. This is what I wrote down. It's a lot cheaper. This is pros versus PC. It's a lot cheaper than an equivalent PC. The games are optimized for PS5, so it's like plug and play. You don't have to build it. You don't have to really mess with the settings that much. You just pop the game in and play the game. It could have better ray tracing if it's optimized well for those games specifically on the PS5 versus the PC. Unless you have, you have something like a 4070, 4080, 4090. Here's the cons versus PC. An equivalent PC can do more things than just gaming. The PS4 Pro was $399. Adjusted for inflation, the PS4 Pro was $533. So it's still, PS5 Pro is still outpacing inflation by a crazy amount. Of course, graphics cards are more expensive nowadays. Other cons, doesn't come with a disk drive, doesn't come with a horizontal stand. In my opinion, it does not justify replacing a PS5. So I wouldn't buy a PS5 Pro to replace a PS5. Also been seeing a lot of comparisons to the PlayStation 3 in terms of price. PlayStation 3 had a 60 gigabyte hard drive, and that cost $599, right? I believe it came out in 2006. If you adjust that for inflation, it's about $934 today. Now, what the PlayStation 3 came with was a Blu-ray drive, right? At that time, a Blu-ray player was really expensive too. So you got to remember that you're getting a Blu-ray player and a gaming system. Now, it's still more expensive than a PS5 Pro, but the PS5 Pro doesn't have any new innovative technology with it. It's just a PS5 Pro. There's no Blu-rays anymore. We all watch Netflix or Hulu or something like that. So at the end of the day, the only reason to buy a PS5 Pro is if you don't have a PS5. In my opinion, for me. You can buy it if you want to. But if you do buy it, make sure that you have a TV or monitor that has 120 hertz or more so that you can actually capitalize off of it. Some people walking around here with 60 hertz TVs talking about they playing at 120 frames per second. No, you're not, homeboy. Your TV can't handle that. You're trying to play double what your TV can handle. Anyway, this is my video. I made a video about Xbox making me sell my Xbox, so I figured PlayStation deserves some love too. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like it. Have a good day.